How's it going, My Squids? Today we're going to be talking about the long dead game, Gigantic. Now, to be completely honest with you, I have no idea what brought this about. I was just kind of, I was just sitting there, and I was just thinking, I was like, that game, I feel like it was a missed opportunity on my part. I really felt like they had something, like Motiga genuinely had something, and investors and publishers were pushing the wrong areas, or were just trying to rush everything, and it really just fucked with the overall game, and it forced the game to go in all these directions that made no sense. And it really sucks because now I have that feeling, as you guys know, like the saying goes, you don't know what you have till it's gone. And I can really resonate with that right now for whatever reason. I feel like I'm sitting here in this chair remembering an ex-girlfriend or something. It's fucked, dude. I feel like I loved that game for whatever reason. I hardly played it, but I played it a couple times with Steve, and I keep thinking back to that, and I was like, why didn't I give that more of a chance? Why didn't I give it my wallet? I don't know why. It was, I don't know. I really don't know why, but I feel like if it was around right now, it'd be a hit for some reason. I don't know why I feel like that, but I would definitely feel like it would be a hit. I feel like Overwatch players would fuck with it. I feel like Paladins players would fuck with it. I feel like a lot of MOBA players would fuck with it right now for whatever reason. So let's actually talk about what was really wrong with Gigantic. There was kind of like a lot of issues realistically, like on PC, the fact that it was only capped at 60 FPS because, I don't know why it was only capped at 60 FPS. And to further kind of like capitalize on that, it was a problem because I had heard that a lot of the publishers and a lot of like investors wanted to push the game towards the eSports market, which, that's not a horrible idea, right? In theory, but when you really think about it, was the game really ready to attack the esports, area? You know what I mean? Because if the game is capped at 60 FPS, fucking yeah, right. Any esports nerd is gonna tell you, oh, if the game doesn't get 130,000 FPS, then it's unplayable. Like, come on now. And even though the game was capped at 60 FPS, it would still have dips into like 30 to 40 FPS. Like, it was very unoptimized, and they wanted to push this game into the esports market that just wasn't gonna work. The player base was already pretty minimal. Not only that, but like I said, it was unoptimized. It was hard to play the game properly without seeing dips and drops into like 30 40 FPS. And like I said, if nerds out here are saying that if I don't get 150 FPS then that's unplayable, then how are they gonna feel that they can't even run it at 60? Even with top-notch hardware, you would still see dips down into the 30 and 40 FPS area because it was just that unoptimized. Instead of trying to go for the esports area, they should have just focused on a casual, fun player base. They should have definitely listened to the community first. I always hate it when companies that come out with these like new like MOBA genre titles or whatever, and they immediately are like, all right, we gotta attack the esports. We gotta go for that. See, this was before the time of Fortnite, before it was popping off and everything. So at the time, the major players were like Overwatch, Paladins, Smite, League. Those were the people that were leading it necessarily. Like, obviously not Paladins and Smite. I mean, come on, it's a fucking joke. But that's besides the point. I just mean that they merely existed before Gigantic, and they already had a foothold in the esports area, and there are, teams and players, they're advertising for the game. Gigantic, fresh new game, and they immediately want to go for, esports. That doesn't work. So instead of focusing on esports garbage, they should have went for the casual player base, because that's where I feel like their market would have been fucking golden. Gigantic has this crazy aspect where it's such a casual experience. I feel like a lot of people would be like, I'm tired of Overwatch right now, especially with how the state of it is, and I keep seeing videos everywhere talking about Overwatch is dead, blah blah blah, for this reason, that reason. I genuinely feel like people would actually stop playing Overwatch and play Gigantic, and Gigantic would not necessarily blow up, but it would have been able to sustain the servers and sustain itself to where the studio didn't have to shut down. For whatever reason, I feel like if Gigantic was around right now, people would play the fuck out of it, because I know I would play it right now, because for whatever reason, I got this feeling, this urge that I need to play Gigantic, that I want to play Gigantic, and the fact that I can't upsets me. It genuinely upsets me. It was such a missed opportunity. They rushed everything. They put the investors. Fuck God. we need your money, but we don't need your advice. It's so upsetting because how many games get shit on because of publishers, investors, whatever, and they need, like, they want you to do this just because they're handing you the money, but they don't know the slightest bit of what the fuck is going on, and then they just invest in a company, and then they try and control the company, and it just goes south. Literally the casuals are always gonna pay the motherfucking bills. You know what I'm saying? In any game, casuals are gonna pay the fucking bills. There are obviously certain exceptions to that and whatnot, but most of the time when it comes to a new title that comes out, it's gonna be all about the casual players that are just getting into it and whatnot. After a few months, maybe even a year, then you start looking at esports, because then you understand that what people are looking for. It just sucks, dude. You know, you just get to sitting remembering games and whatnot, and you're like, man, I wish I had that to play right now. I say that a lot about a lot of like fucking Nintendo games and like PS1 games, where I was like the other day I was thinking, I was like, man, Ape Escape, that was a fun ass game. Wish I had that. But for whatever reason, Gigantic just kind of was really hitting me in the feels. You know what I'm saying? It was just hard to remember it and then wish that it was still around, and I don't know, it was just kind of, well, it was kind of one of those really sad moments, because I feel like I didn't do my part to try and keep the game up. And not that I mean I'm one person, what the fuck am I gonna do? But man, if I had millions of dollars, I would have handed them millions of dollars just so that way they could keep afloat and we could be playing the game. And that shit sucks. One day, boys, I'm gonna become an investor and I'm gonna save all the low end titles. I'm gonna go on Twitter and I'm gonna be like, yo, what game y'all want me to invest in right now? And then I'll do a poll and you guys just vote on it, and I'll just hand them 10 mil just for the fuck of it, which that will never happen because the likeliness of me becoming a millionaire is probably very slim. So, you know, yep. Anyway, that concludes today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section if you guys kind of miss Gigantic like me. It's been a while, you know what I'm saying? So let me know what you guys are thinking. Bye bye.